I couldn't help but think about what she had to go through and what she had to do to be able to be focused, to overcome what she had to overcome, to do that and activate that passion that she had within herself to learn. An article read in the newspaper, she had a hunger to learn. My book is entitled, You Gotta Be Hungry. It's a different space. It's no time to waste time. Life ain't playing with us. This pandemic isn't. And so there's widespread insanity that's going on right now. I don't know where you align with what you want to do in terms of your life and your goals and your dreams. But I say what Dr. Miles Monroe said, live full, die empty, keep social distancing, do the things you need to do to stay alive, listen to the scientists and not people who become internet scientists or Google scientists. Listen to the real scientists and make decisions that will keep you and your family safe. That's what's most important right now. And not just be consumed by the distractions that are going on. Life will always be full of distractions. Dimple said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I said, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. And so during the adversities of where we are and what we are facing, you want to have some things that you're doing that will give you the tools, the mindset, the mental resolve to handle whatever life throws at you. Why, Les? Because whatever life throws at you, you have in you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You have in you to handle it. You have built-in greatness. You have built-in power, authority, and dominion to handle whatever life throws at you. And life is going to be throwing a lot of stuff. Nobody's going to be spared. That's why Viktor Frankl called it unavoidable suffering. But suffering is a choice. You have a choice because you can suffer or you can choose to do whatever you need to do to liberate yourself, whatever you need to do to reinvent yourself, whatever you need to do to get the help that you need to overcome whatever you are stuck in right now. It does not have to be your residency. And finding peace. Make that a priority. People talk about goals and dreams. You know how many people have achieved their goals of earning a lot of money, of becoming celebrities in a miserable? Look here, I've lived that life. And it's important to get still and find out what is it I need to do to find some peace in the midst of all the stuff that's going on. And take care of you. Stuff's happening to people all around you. Take care of you. It makes sense. What Iyanla said, give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. This is a time to be selfish. Did he say that? Yes. You can give so much you deplete yourself. I had to learn to give to me. I had to look at my life and all the things that I was looking at, all the things that I allowed to create stress in my life, they did not belong to me. They didn't belong to me. I took them off. And I made a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I don't want this anymore. No. I'm getting this off me. Because life has no duplicate. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to live a happy, healthy, prosperous life. And you can't be happy. And you can't live a prosperous life and a successful life if you allow yourself to be burdened with other people's things. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. And I had to learn to do that. I had to look, because sometimes you can be so busy taking care of other people's business and you realize, wait a minute, this is not my stuff. Why did I take this on? And let me serve notice to you. The people that have been using you, they're going to get angry because they want you to be distracted and do what they want you to do and do the work that they're supposed to be doing. See, here's what I know. When people get sick and tired of being sick and tired, they'll do something about their situation. That's what I know. During even this place where we're, just imagine. It makes a powerful statement about what's going on right now. Kanye West had a stadium, 20,000 people per set, paid for a listening party. During the pandemic, people showed up, crowded, some with masks, some without masks, to listen. Woo! 40,000. Let me tell you something. If we had an announcement saying, if you have goals and dreams, we're going to have an event, and all it will cost you is $97 or $100, same money you gave Kanye for him to walk across the stage with a stocking cap over his face to listen to music. Now you can listen to something that can change your life. The same group of people, will they show up? No. In 7 different languages. No. Whoa. Jesus said, all power is in my hands. Oh, by the way, the poor will always be among you. Wow. Remember what Reverend I said? The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. And sometimes we get so caught up emotionally. And what I realize, and what's important, is you can't help people who won't help themselves, because your help will be temporary. Everything that you do must be sustained. That's why Frederick Douglass said, now I understood what he said. Why help a man stand to his feet if he doesn't have enough gumption to lock his knees, if he does not have the consciousness and responsibility to lock his knees? When you let him go, his head is going to hit the pavement. I can't tell you the number of people I got jobs when I was a state legislator, and they lost a job. They got paid on Friday and wouldn't show up on Monday. Have you ever helped somebody and they did nothing with it? Did absolutely nothing with it. I'm overcoming being a slow learner. Have one of my granddaughters. I poured into her and all that I did. She said, thank you. Did she say thank you? I don't remember. But let's say, don't give a benefit of the doubt. Thank you, Grandpa. Place I took out of, she went right back. The school that I paid for, the degree that I helped her to get, not even using it, doing something else. All that time, all that energy, all that work that I put in. Look, I'm 77. They should be given to me. See, your children should do more than what you've done. I did more than what Mamie Brown did, or Dorothy Bell, my birth mother. Your children are to earn more money than you, because they stand on your shoulders, and what you have done with your life and what they do with their lives, they should go further. That has not happened in this generation. One of my kids told me, I asked him for some ideas. Oh, I'm not going to give you no ideas because you don't listen to your children. Duh, I don't listen to broke people. Look here. No, are you kidding me? You need to be listening to me. Oh, you need to be listening to me. And one of my kids said, oh, you act like your kids. Oh, you said, no. I'm just exploring how we can do some things together. Okay, that's fine. I am so glad that I have my health, that I'm in my right mind, that I'm taking responsibility to stay in good health so I'm not depending upon somebody to wipe my behind. I'm going to be in good shape. So if they start having some flashback, you remember when you beat me for nothing? Excuse me? Well, I told you I didn't do that. And they start looking at me crazy. And I'm laying up somewhere and can't get up and run. I said, you know what? I thought about it when somebody asked you, you get older, who's going to wipe your behind? You want to push back that time. You want to take care of yourself. I got up, I started doing some yoga and qigong, and I've been doing all kind of exercise up in here because my goal is not to be a burden to anybody. We can't help getting older, but we don't have to get old. Life ain't playing with us. Old man time is not playing. Going up the steps and I heard this click in my right knee. I said, oh my goodness, what is that? That knee said, I'm 77. That's what that is. I'm 77. When you get 77, I begin to crack. Oh my goodness. So take your time, buddy. I ain't playing with you. And ladies and gentlemen, some of you can hear me. The majority don't even want to hear it. Go on someplace else. Good. Let me share something with you. Take life seriously. Life has no duplicate. Decide as you look at your life, as you determine what is it that the next greatest version of myself, what does that look like? What is it I need to do? We have an expiration date. We can push it behind us if we want to. We can push it out of our minds and think we have forever to deal with other stuff and say to old man time, hey, listen, wait just a minute. Les Brown's got some stuff he's dealing with his children or his grandchildren or his baby mama drama and all kind of other stuff. Just wait just a minute and then we'll start the clock again. No. You got to be present in mind. You have to monitor and manage the priorities in your life. Guess what number one is? Your state of mind, having peace of mind, having your health. If you don't have your health, you can do nothing. It's cute to say, oh, your health is your wealth. Absolutely. But we run past that. Having the discipline, having a routine, having a strategy that says, I want to be here. So one of the goals I have, that I wake up every day to get off the medication they put me on. The Cancer Centers of America. At no time, any of these doctors I've seen, whether it's a Cleveland Clinic or Cancer Centers of America, anywhere I've been, saying, look here, here's a strategy. These are the pills that we prescribe for you, but here's a strategy that can help you get off these pills. Has anybody told you how to get off the pills, Les? No. Are you upset about that? No. Why? Because I know the pills pay the bills. This is a partnership. And I'm the lead partner. And I do my research. And I'm going to do what I need to do. In spite of them injecting me with steroids, this is not my destiny. No. I'm getting off this. I'm losing this weight. No, I'm reversing this type 2 diabetes. I'm going to fight. So I'm not popping pills all night. And I asked them questions. Is this addictive? Oh, yes. Oh, don't give me that. Guess what they did? They put it in prescription. So when I went to Walgreens, I asked the question. Here's what I'm here for. And I asked them, that particular pill that you just mentioned, is it addictive? They said, yes. I don't want that. You can keep that. Give me the other ones. Look at those. Are they addictive? Any of those addictive? No? Fantastic. Yeah, I'm Marcus Welby. I'm playing doctor myself. I know what it is to be addicted to pills. Oh, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. I ain't playing with you. Life ain't playing with us. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I know that with everything in me, when I was sitting on the porch in Gainesville, Georgia, at the house that my mother built with a saw and a hammer, and I looked at the work that she has done, that I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. I remember when I almost drowned. I just remembered this morning at a pool at Dixie Park in Miami. And how did you get saved? Because the lifeguard didn't see me. I was swallowing a lot of water and I was kicking and radical movement, and my foot went into an opening on the side of the wall of a pool where there was not a light. And I pushed myself up and screamed, and the lifeguard jumped in and saved me. Of all the places in that pool, at one place where I was, there was an opening where there was a light bulb that had burnt out. From that day to this day, I have never seen a pool that had an opening where a light bulb was supposed to be in there, and it wasn't. God made the arrangement. He knew in advance one of my children would be in there. Somebody will push him in the pool. And when he starts kicking, trying to get some help, his foot is going to land in that blessing, that opening that he created for me. What openings has God created for you that you have not recognized, that you take for granted? You think you're here because you're so smart, Les Brown? No, I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. And I can't help it. I'm here for him. He spared me so many times. I've had 2 guns drawn on me, and one guy pulled the trigger and it got stuck. And it didn't go off. I'm here. I was at a red light that changed, and I heard this voice said, "Don't move," and somebody ran the light. I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. My message to you: we're here for God. I'm not a religious person. We're here for God. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. I'm coming for you right now. And I don't want you to be so distracted about everything that's going on right now. No. You have greatness, and you have built-in greatness. You are made in the likeness and image of God. No, don't buy into this foolishness. You are born and said you are made in the likeness and image of God. Sin means in the Aramaic language, falling short of the mark. You are made in the likeness and image of God. You have built-in greatness. You have authority and dominion and the power in you to handle whatever life throws in your direction. You got it like that. And what's important is to know that your life has meaning. What's important is to know that you're on a mission. What's important is to live life with a sense of urgency. What's important? That we have a limited time of being here. What's important? That we must keep it moving. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thought should be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Do what you can do, and God will do what you can't do. Bless, I've done everything I can. Good, ask for some help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help, and don't stop until you get it. You're no wimp, you're no punk. No. You're made in the likeness and image of God. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. You have built-in power at any moment to take your life in a different direction. All of us have defining moments. I remember when I was fired from radio, I thought that was all that I can do. I was good at that. Well, that was all that I worked on. I had more in me. Helen Keller said, when one door closes, another door opens, but most of us spend so much time being depressed, being angry about the closed door, we don't see the open door. If you've lost a job, you haven't lost a job. If a job has been removed from your life, guess why? They had to make room for you to become an entrepreneur, for you to learn how to sit in front of a computer and learn something now that you don't know. You now have to live your life in such a way that you want to learn something today that you didn't know yesterday. If you're not willing to learn, nobody can help you. But if you're willing to learn, you can help yourself. No one can stop you. People are doing it every day, making money left and right. More millionaires are being created during the pandemic. And after the pandemic, the money has not left the planet. Just the people who are hungry. People that are hungry are focused. People who are hungry are looking for ways to win in spite of the adversities. People that are hungry refuse to give up. People that are hungry operate under the philosophy of life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Got comeback power, as Willie Jolly would say. I ain't playing with you, I'm coming for you. Because our children are watching us. They're watching us. And many of them are not looking at good role models. That's why the suicide rate among young girls 12 to 17 has increased 51%. Are you kidding me? People dying to get here and people living here committing suicide. Come on now. People get here, can't speak the language, have a 3 to 4 greater chance of buying a home and having their own business than people who've been here. People who can't speak the language have a 4-time greater chance of owning their own home and creating their own business. There's something wrong with that. Why? Because we've gotten comfortable. That's why Brian Tracy said, your comfort zone is your danger zone. They don't come here to watch Netflix or any other kind of flick or a listening party. No, they're hungry. And you must be hungry too for a better life. You must be hungry too to say, no, this is not going to get the best of me. Sometimes in life, you have to put your foot down. Where you say, no. When I heard the rats in the house where I moved my mother out of, and they were playing bid whist and talking to each other. Then they're talking about, you know what? I'm so glad Mamie back, I don't know what to do. I'd be glad when she baked one of those sweet potato pies. I'm listening to them. Are they talking about my mama? Boy, that Mamie, she can bake a sweet potato pie. I'm telling you. They're talking about my mama. The rats in the wall. And they have imported roaches in Miami from Atlanta. Roaches that's so big they fly like pigeons and eagles. And roaches where you spray them and they snatch the black flag out of your hand and start spraying you. But here's the kicker. I saw Roach the other day. I got some black flag and started spraying him. And guess what he did? He snatched it out of my hand. But he also had something else in the other hand. I'm looking, it was some Lysol. He sprayed me with the Lysol before he sprayed me with the black flag. He didn't want me to infect him with the virus. That ain't right. Talk about a shortage of chicken wings. Why can't we have a shortage of flying roaches here? They talk about a shortage of chickens. Are you kidding me? let me my medication wearing off. Let me leave this with you. You're listening to me because you and I are cut from the same cloth. We're branches of the same tree. You have something special. You have greatness in you. God had a lot of choices. You and I, we were created out of 400 million spirits. We were chosen. God had a lot of choices. For us to be here at this point in time, we were made for this point in time in history. A reckoning is going on. All hands on deck. Evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. All hands on deck. There are three kinds of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what happened. You are here to make things happen. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What gift are you creating? What are you doing? We need you. We need you to be, as Sandra Brown would say, from trust up. We need you to be visible. We need you to be vocal. We need you to be engaged in this thing called life. Our children need you. Our children's children need you. Good man and woman leaves a legacy for their children and their children's children. But we don't want to just leave a legacy. A legacy is how you will be remembered. We want to build a dynasty, as my son John Leslie would say. A dynasty is something that as you build it, you won't be forgotten. Wow. As Tolo would say. If you can feel me, if you know what I'm talking about, that you realize that this is a different space, and that if we're going to make it in and out of the pandemic, we must bring a different kind of energy, a different kind of commitment, passion, and drive to create a life that we can be proud of. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. Yeah. This thing called life. What a mighty God we serve. Angels stand before him. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shared as I was rocking in a rocking chair on this porch in this house that my mother built. I bet she never thought about one day the son that she had in Miami, Florida, with his twin brother, will find his way to Gainesville, Georgia, and he will sit on this bench with the brother that he did not know he had, George Rucker, as he listened to stories about me from his brother that he did not know he had. And he would be moved and inspired by the work that I did when he walked through the house and saw the newspaper clippings about my accomplishments. He found me and my mother, his grandmother. Look at God. Let me share something with you. Don't give up. There's a reason that Paul said, pray unceasingly. Don't give up. The prayers will fortify you. Don't give up. Keep moving. Don't give up. Do as Mary McLeod Bethune would say, pray as if everything depends upon God. But work as if everything depends upon you. There's a destiny in you. There's a greater calling in you. There's a work for you to do. That's why you were chosen for this time in history. History is being read, but it's also being written by people like you. That's why you're listening to me. I guarantee you, nobody who went to a listening party are listening to me. I'm an old fuddy-duddy, old Uncle Tom. He ain't listening to me. No. But you are, because you and I are cut from the same cloth. You are, because we're branches of the same tree. You are, because what's in me is in you.
Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Give you an example. 27 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
27 years ago, my gosh.
Yeah, fourth stage cancer. And fourth stage prostate cancer, my PSA was 2,400. And so Dr. Alfred Golson said, Mr. Brown, you have fourth stage cancer. I said, I do? He said, yes. And it's metastasized to 7 areas of your body, and it's eaten 43% of your T1 vertebrae. I said, whoa. He said, why are you smiling? Did you hear what I just said? I said, yeah. He said, well, why are you smiling? I said, man, 7 is my lucky number. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. 7 is my lucky number. He looked at his nurse and said, this is a strange one. So I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes. And you're ugly too. You just called me ugly, did you? You didn't go there. He said, you're ugly. He said, but you got this. You got this. I don't tell patients that they're terminally ill. What I say is my knowledge and my ability and my skills have terminated. Now you and God figure this out. He determines the prognosis. You got this. And as a result, how people live their lives, as you know, is a result of the story they believe about themselves. He interrupted my story, and I left there with a heart full of faith, not a heart full of fear. Zig said, most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run. But there are a small number, the road to life is straight and narrow, few there be that find it, who face everything and rise.
Oh my gosh.
And so the people who listen to you when you speak, and when I say that you are the most talented speaker on the planet, is because when you speak, what you do is distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract people from their story. As you know, the psychologists call that self-explanatory style. And through the execution of your presentation or the guest that you interview, that you dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to come, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. That's what you do with the products that you have, the guests that you have, and how you have decided that you are going to live a life that will outlive you. And God bless you for it.
Live a life that will outlive you. Oh my gosh. Everybody, I'm just sharing this treasure with you. So you got to follow this man. You've got to get his book. Guys, listen, I have a lot of people on my show that I admire. This man changed my life. I mean, there's a part of me, this is a very strange interview for me, Mr. Brown, because I'm in and out of it in my mind. I'm talking to Les Brown right now. And, I mean, I've spent...
I'm fascinated to be talking with you. You don't know how often I've met you that said, this is my brother from another mother.
Thank you. Thank you. I bet you're making my day. Speaking of... What's that?
How old are you?
50 this year.
Oh, I got t-shirts older than you. Well, I'm 75.
Oh my gosh. I got to tell you, by the way, speaking of brothers, this is an interesting thing about you. You're a twin.
Yes.
And when you were young, this is so hard for people to believe. They see this man who can recite poetry and scripture and quotes like this, to think that at some point you were labeled as, were you labeled as mentally retarded as a child?
When I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade at Douglas Elementary School in Miami, Florida. And then when I was in the 8th grade, I failed again. But I had a man who was very much like you, because I consider you a master communicator, Mr. Leroy Washington. And I walked in his class looking for a friend. It was really a God moment. And he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, do it anyhow. I said, I can't, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. And he asked, what's DT? And they said, he's the dumb twin. And they erupted in laughter. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from around his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Do you hear me? I said, yes, sir. He interrupted the story that I believed about myself. My mother said, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. But words do hurt deeply. But on that day, Denzel was in a movie called Touch, and he said, there are moments in life, there's before this and there's after this. And after this, nothing will ever be the same again. And my life was interrupted because he interrupted this vision that had been planted in my mind by words. Words affect behavior. And that's why I'm excited about training people how to create an experience to transform people individually and collectively. Because when we look at where we are, that's more important than ever before. The cultures and hatred and divisiveness, all of these things are fomented with words. Our lady came for me to train her from Australia, and I said, why did you come to me? She said, when I look at all the divisiveness and hatred and violence, she said, it's done by a few people, but there's too many people are silent, and I have a voice, and I want to be a voice for love. I said, whoa. She just gave me goose pimples, man.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. This teacher, speaking about that on voice, because the third thing was communication. I literally shared this with my son when he went away to college. This teacher stopped you when you're in that classroom, correct me if I'm wrong, and said, listen, there's 3 things that you need to have if you're going to prevail in this life. Yeah. And everybody, this is where you right now, if you've got children around you, you go grab them right now. Because I've shared this with both of my children. This is compelling stuff right here, because this was one of those moments where your life was not the same again after he delivers this message to you.
Yes, yeah. He said, you have to work on your mind. He was a person who believed in Earl Nightingale, who said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. If you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. He said, develop your mind. Next thing he said, practice the principle of OQP, only quality people. Today, in order for us to make it, even before the coronavirus, the suicide rate in America had increased by 32%. Today, in order for us to make it, we have to create what we're doing now, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. One of the major issues we're facing right now is loneliness. And one of the major determinants of a long life, I thought it would be plant-based diet or becoming a vegetarian or a vegan or exercise. It's positive social relationships. That's the main factor. And the third thing that he said, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, young man. Because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Your ability to communicate humanizes you. And you explain it so well when you talk to people about the number one skill that they need. If they're negotiating, if they want to advance their careers, if they want to create a movement, they want to promote their business or promote themselves. That skill, had I not had that skill when I was fired from working for the Miami Sanitation Department, if I didn't have the ability to communicate, I would not have been able to be a salesman at Sears or do door-to-door sales. I would not have been able to become a disc jockey. I would not have been able to become a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio, and pass 14 bills my first term. And I was elected the third term, 3 terms, and then my sister called me and said, Leslie, are you sitting down? What's wrong with Mama? Mama has breast cancer. I said, I'll be right there. She said, Leslie, you don't have to come. We found a good nursing home for her. I said, listen to me. No. She adopted 7 will be there when she takes her last breath. And I left that day, and I'll never forget when I rung the doorbell, a friend of hers named Miss Mildred, she came to the door. She said, oh my God, Mamie, Leslie's here. And I heard my mother's voice said, I knew my boy would come. I knew my boy would come. And I came in and her things were packed. I said, unpack everything. I said, Mom, I'm here. I'm here. And so it's...
Wow. This thing with your mom, do you know who Art Williams is? Do you remember Art Williams? He used to be a speaker.
All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. But
there you go.
You do all you can do. I study everybody.
I know you do. Listen to you.
Zig Ziglar. If you give enough people what they want, they'll give you what you want. Jim Rohn. When the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. I study them all.
Because the reason I ask you this is when I introduced you as the greatest speaker that I've ever seen, and by the way, I think that shortchanges it. I believe greatest teacher, communicator that I've ever seen in my life. And the other one that made the impact on me was Art Williams, who I know you would both agree with. There was an amazing communicator, still is. Yeah. And so I met him one time, and he gave me a nice compliment about a talk I had given. And so I said, well, there's 2 I've ever seen in my life. And I said, it's you, Mr. Williams. And I said, and then Les Brown's in a class all his own. And I said, he's so talented and gifted. And he stopped me. And this leads to your mother. Again, a situation that I know about, I'd like you to share. And he goes, he's not that talented and gifted. He's a worker. He works. Les works at it. This is a skill he's developed. He wasn't born with this. He's worked at it. If you knew the people I know, this guy is on the road. He works. And then I was listening to you, and this amazing, your mother's this theme in your life, but when you were a young boy, your mother lost the ability to work. And so I think the story is she starts sort of like making a little moonshine to sort of support the family, right? And something happens, and I think you're like 10 years old, something like this, right? And then you got to take over. Would you just share this? Because I think everything happens for us, not to us. Our test will be our testimony. And the messes of our lives don't disqualify us. I think so many people think this mess I'm in, this divorce, this business failure, this choice I made I'm not proud of, that I'm ashamed of, it disqualifies me. My background, my upbringing, I'm disqualified. Turns out you can turn those things into be your testimony. And this situation with your mom, I think, triggered this work ethic in you at a young age that Art told me about.
Yes, Mama, she started selling homebrew and moonshine, and it was difficult for us at that time, for her raising 7 children. She was injured on a job. And so she promised our birth mother that these children will never go to bed hungry. We will always have a roof over our head and clothes on our back. And a man came. I'll never forget what you're talking about. So you've done your research as much as I've been doing research on you. You and I are so much alike. and this guy, his name was Calhoun, and he knocked on the door. He said, "Leslie, how are you doing?" I said, "Fine." Mama always said, "Don't ever open the door without telling me." And I said, "Oh, hey, Mama." No, don't tell her. I've got 2 friends with me. We're going to surprise her. Open the door. And I opened the door and let them come in. And one of the guys grabbed me. I was 10 years old in the throat and hit me on the side of the head and threw me up against the wall. And he said, "She's back there in the room." And they went back there, and Mama was selling homebrew and moonshine. And he said, "Pull up the linoleum." And they pull up the linoleum, and she kept it under the floor of the house that we were in. And they brought Mama out in handcuffs. Then I said, "Mama, I'm so sorry." And she said, "It's okay, Leslie. It's okay." And she never, ever mentioned it when she came back. And so we didn't have any relatives, so we adopted. So the neighbors, they will come in and bring us food from time to time. And I would collect copper and aluminum, and sometimes stand in the corner. "Hey boy, come over," and get on the truck with older men to move heavy equipment. But years later, fast forward, man, I had it in my heart. If I ever saw this guy again, I'll kill him. And boy, God, he has a sense of humor. Here I am talking to my young son, John Leslie, who's a speaker and trainer. I said, "John Leslie, anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind." He said, "What do you mean by that, Daddy?" I said, "Don't allow anger to govern you. Never make a decision while you are angry. It blows out the wind of the mind. You'll make decisions and do things that you will regret later." At this time, a guy comes over and tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "Hello, sir. I just want you to know we here in Miami are so proud of you." I had a talk show at King World that paid me $5 million to do the Les Brown talk show. Now look, I'll never forget his face. I said to myself, "Oh my God, it's Calhoun." Now here's my son here, and I'm looking at this guy's face who put my mother in jail. And man, I get short in the breath, and John Leslie said, "Daddy, you all right?" I said, "No." And this guy, he just kept on shaking my hand. "Man, yes, Leslie, man, you really making us all proud." And I said, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me." And I went outside, and my son said, "What's going on? Is there something you ate?" I said, No, John Leslie. I gotta go. I said, "Let's get in the car, I gotta go." He said, "What's happening, Dad?" And I drove away for a little while, and I parked on the side to collect myself. I said, "That man, he's the one that put your grandmother in jail. And I promised if I ever saw him again, I would kill him." He said, "Oh God." I said, "John Leslie, you know what? It's a God moment." He said, "Why?" I said, I got that hatred out of my heart for him because you were here. I have to model what I'm teaching you. People say, practice what you preach, but now God put it in me. I got to preach what I practice. I got to forget. And forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is remembering without anger. I forgive him, but most of all, I forgive myself. Please forgive me, God, for carrying this anger and hatred all these years. Yeah. It was, I've never told this story before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this thing, you know, Forrest Gump had a point. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's all I got to say about that.